Assalamu alaikum, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Dina Okesha and I'm back with my educational videos. And today, inshallah, we are going to discuss HCF, LCM, and prime factoring. And we are going as well to discuss tricky questions and different ideas that always come in year 10 exams. Tamam? You can refer to this video if you are a Cambridge or an Edexcel student. تمام كده? The first thing that we are going to introduce in this video are the types of questions related to HCF and LCM. The types of questions related to HCF and LCM. The first type of questions that we will discuss today are the basic questions. الأسئلة البيزك. تمام؟ اللي هي pure numerical questions, the numerical questions. Now, if you have my notes and classified, you can use my resources. If you do not have my resources, then you can just write in a copybook or just watch the video. I will try to make this video short, بس if I don't اكتشفت بقى إن الولاد بيعملوا إيه؟ they speed up في موضوع مش عارفة السبيد ده. فصوتي بيبقى مسرسع كده. المهم إن انتوا you understand. Okay, now let's start with the basic questions. Now, as we said, if you have my resources, I need you to open up to classified part 4, page 22. And if we are going to refer to this as type A of questions, اللي هم the basic numerical questions, هو ده. Classified part 4, page number 22. Now the question here says, find the HCF of the two numbers 64 and 80. And if you look at question number B, هتلاقوا إن هو بيقول لي find LCM. Now to find HCF and LCM في طرق كتيرة جدا. There are so many methods. And every teacher uses the method that they're comfortable with. أنا I use the عمود. طبعا انتوا عارفين افتكاساتي. طبعا اللي هي also known as the column method. Also known as the column method. أنا بحب أسميها العمود. طبعا في التري وفي حاجات كتيرة جدا. أنا بس برتاح نفسيا للعمود أو column method. I just like it يعني. That's it. Now, how do I use the عمود to find the HCF of two numbers over here? Now, what I do initially is that I write my numbers given in the question separated by a comma زي ما انتوا شايفين. And then I draw my عمود. I draw my vertical line, as you can see, and this vertical line over here represents division. العمود ده represents division. Now, on the left-hand side of my عمود, I only write prime numbers. I only write prime numbers. خلينا نفتكر مع بعض إيه هم prime numbers. What are the prime numbers? The prime numbers are numbers that have two different factors, as you can see. One and the number itself. Okay? طيب خلينا نشوف بقى دلوقتي how do I start my solving process and what are the keywords of HCF. Whenever you are going to find HCF on two numbers using the column method or the عمود, remember your keywords. Both and same. Both and same. وهنشوف دلوقتي ايه keywords دي and how do I use them. Both and same. And how do I start بقى? فأنا زي ما اتفقنا, you write the numbers separated by a comma, you draw the vertical line. This only vertical line represents division. And as we said, on the left-hand side, you only write prime numbers, and this is how you start. Both 64 and 80 can be divided by the same prime value. هما الاتنين. Can I divide them by the same prime value? Yes, both can be divisible by 2. I write the 2 كده هنا next to them and I divide each number individually. ويا ريت يا جماعة don't use your mental skills والنبي. 64 divide by 2 which is 32 and then 80 divide by 2 which is 40. And then I continue asking myself the same question again. Both 32 and 40 can be divided by the same prime value. إيه ده؟ هو أنا ينفع استعمل ال 2 تاني؟ Can I use the 2 again? Definitely. So I write it next to them. كده. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 40 divided by 2 is كام? 20. And then you ask yourself again, same keywords. both numbers can be divided by 2. ايه التول اللي مسيطرة على الموقف دي؟ عادي جدا مفيش أي مشكلة. As long as you can use it, use it. هنا عندي 16 divided by 2 is 8, 20 divided by 2 which is can 16 divided by 2 8, 20 divided by 2 is 8, 10. And then both numbers can be divided by 2 again. 8 divided by 2 is 4, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, when you reach to this stage, when both numbers cannot be divided by the same value, you stop. خلاص بقى ما كملش كبقى هنا. يبقى أنا هنا why will I stop? I will stop because the remaining numbers ما ينفعش هما الاتنين I can divide them with the same value. طيب, where is my answer? My answer is, let me use another highlighter. My answer is the numbers on the left multiplied 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then you have to write your answer, which is, of course, 16. تمام. So 16 is the highest common factor. ولو عايزين يا جماعة تفهموا يعني إيه highest common factor؟ highest common factor يعني إيه أعلى رقم I can divide the 64 and the 80 by. What is the highest number I can divide these two values by? So here goes your highest common factor. And remember that your answer must be a number like this. لازم الإجابة كده تبقى رقم في الآخر. طيب نيجي بقى هنا في السؤال اللي تحتيه بيقول لي find the lowest common multiple. الميزة بقى في طريقة العمود إيه؟ إن أنا I can use the same عمود to find the LCM. I can use the same عمود to find the LCM. So let's see. How do I use بقى the same عمود to find the LCM? هنكتب بقى ال keywords بتاعة ال LCM. The keywords of LCM are keep dividing till you reach the smiley face أو till you reach one not. Keep dividing till you reach the smiley face or one not. يعني إيه بقى؟ يعني these two remaining numbers over here, I will divide each of them individually till it changes into 1. طيب هل لازم استعمل برايم هنا؟ المفروض ان انا استعمل برايم. يعني الماث الصح بيقول ان انا I have to use prime numbers here on the left hand side. But if you decide not to do that, then it's fine. Okay? So I will take each number individually. How do I change this 4 into 1? طبعا انا عشان مدرسة ماث فهمشي بقى بالماث المظبوط. هخليها 1. ازاي بقى اخلي ال 4 دي 1؟ هنشتغل مع ال 2 تاني. 4 divided by 2 is 2. طب وبالنسبة لل 5 متفرجة لأنه I cannot divide it by 2. وال 2 دي برضو عايزة أخليها 1, so I will divide by 2 again. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And the 5 is متفرجة زي ما انتم شايفين. So what I'm doing is that I am taking every number individually, dividing it by prime till I reach the 1. Now, as I said, if you want to divide by 4 immediately, صراحة يعني ما حدش يقدر يقول إنه ده غلط. طيب نيجي بقى هنا على ال 5. إيه بقى مصير ال 5 دي؟ This 5 as well must be changed into 1. How? Divide by 5. فال1 ده هيحصل فيه إيه؟ هينزل متفرج. طيب 5 divided by 5 which is كام؟ 1. Did I reach my smiley face? Yes, I've reached my smiley face, or I have reached the 1 not. So basically, if you wish to find the LCM of these two numbers, keep dividing till you reach the 1 not اللي في الآخر دي, till you reach the ones. Now, it's time بقى to write my final answer. And those of you who attend with me in school, you will always find me writing this FA. Now, what does FA stand for? FA stands for the final answer. Now, what is the final answer? The final answer will simply be all of these numbers multiplied. Your LCM will be all of these numbers multiplied together. طبعا علشان احنا peer 10 والمفروض ان احنا دماغنا بقى كبيرة. The highlighted green, this is the HCF, which was calculated initially in question A as 16. And then these over here are the remaining numbers اللي أنا بسميهم الباقي بتوعي. So basically, if I want to find the LCM, I multiply the HCF by الباقي دول. So I multiply 16 times 2 times 2 times 5. And then on the calculator, I will get my final answer. 16 times 2 times 2 times 5. And I will get 320, which is the LCM. So to find the LCM, I multiply HCF by دول. أو بطريقة أبسط multiply كل الأرقام اللي على الشمال. تعالوا نفهم برضو إيه ال LCM ده. What is this 320? The 320 is the first number that will, or the first multiple that will appear in both times table 64 and 80. يعني if I write times table 64 and I write times table 80, 320 دي أول multiple مشترك ما بينهم هما الاثنين. This is just for you to understand. تمام? So this is type A of questions, which اللي هو very numerical, and we use the عمود as you can see to find the HCF, and you can use the same عمود to find the LCM. Now let's continue with the basic question. I'm going to move on to the whiteboard. Now, another type of the basic questions in which we use the عمود, يبقى احنا هنا عملنا ال HCF وال LCM اللي هما basic numerical, is the prime factorization. Prime factorization. تمام? And again, we have the basic questions of prime factorization, and we are going to explain it now. And we use the عمود as well in prime factorization. So let's see and go back to the same classified part 4, same page actually. If we go down and see type 2 of questions, let me just erase this title, we don't need it يعني اللي هو ده امتحان ايه. تمام؟ ده امتحان ايه؟ فاحنا هنا عندنا بعد اذنكم افتحوا لي الكلاسيفايد and the same classified as we said. أهو. This is the second type of questions in which we will use the عمود as well. فممكن حتى نكتب جنبها هنا part B إنه the second type of questions related to عمود is the prime factoring. Let's see first what do I mean by this question over here. هنا بيقول لي express 126 as a product of its prime factors. Let's take each word and analyze it. Product يعني times. كلمة product في الماث يعني multiplication. Prime طبعا we just explained or we just refreshed your memories بإيه هم ال prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7 and so on. These are the prime numbers. Factors. خليني بس يا جماعة أفكركم بالفactors عشان في ناس كتيرة بتتلخبط ما بين الفactors والمultiples. Although يعني المفروض إنه a year 10 student ما يتلخبطش بحاجة زي دي. لو أنا جيت دلوقتي قلت لكم مثلا let's pick a number. For example مثلا the number 10. وجيت قلت لكم what are the factors of number 10. The factors of number 10 يعني mean times mean is 10. 1 times 10 is 10 and then 2 times 5. دول كده اسمهم factors. These are called factors. المultiples هم جدول الضرب. يعني times table 10. 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3 and so on. Okay? Just يعني to refresh your memories. So what am I required to do in this question? I am required to break down the 126 into numbers multiplied together. But all of these numbers must be prime. طبعا factors multiplied together. And all of these numbers or all of these factors, they must be prime. How do I do that? Using the عمود. فأنا هنا بقى in this case, let's see. I will write 126 كده برضو. And I will draw my vertical line on which represents division. And then on the left-hand side, I write only prime numbers. I write only prime numbers. And what are the key words over here? Keep dividing till you reach just one. مش بقى one not. Keep dividing till you reach the one. Of course, remember, إنه we always use prime numbers. And I would suggest that you use the prime numbers in order. معلش يا جماعة, I was interrupted by محصل الكهرباء. Okay, so as we said, we're going to use prime numbers over here. So I start with the lowest prime, which is 2, and then I divide 126 divided by 2, which is 63. Now the 2 is no longer useful to me, so I divide by 3. Divide by 3, so it's 21. If you can use the prime number, use it again. Divide by 3, 21 divided by 3, which is 7. Now, when do I stop? I stop when I reach the 1. Now, where is the answer? Because, يا حبايبي, this is the working out. ده ال working out بتاعي. بس هو فين الإجابة؟ No? The answer is these 4 numbers multiplied. 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. ما اكتبش بقى equals 126. خلاص هو عايز يشوف ال 126 مفكوكة. يعني the examiner wants to see it factorized as follows. If the question says write your answer in an index form, now since the 3 is repeated, then I can square it. طبعا if you remember when we multiply same base, we can add the powers. So since the 3 is multiplied twice, I can write it as follows. So here goes your final answer, okay? So in this page over here, as you can see, we discussed how to use the HCF, how to use the عمود, I'm sorry, to find HCF, how to use it to find LCM, and how to use it to primely factorize, okay? And so far, we discussed the basic questions related to the عمود. Now, we're going to discuss different type of questions in which prime factorization is used to find HCF and LCM for big numbers. For big numbers. So let's see, how do these questions look like? I am going now to actually use classified classified part 2, and I'm going to go to, where is the page? I'm going to actually go to this page over here. This page over here. This is, the screen is shared. Yes, this is classified part 2, page number 19. And let's see بقى, what is the difference between this question and the previous questions. Now, as you can see, now let's just refer this as type C of questions. زي ما انتم شايفين الأرقام primely factorized. Okay. طبعا يا جماعة في ناس جميلة جدا بقى بتعمل ايه؟ They actually decide to put these numbers on the calculator. Now, this number, يعني مثلا number A, this 4, 1, 6, 7, 4, 5. And then they do the same thing with B. ودايما زي ما أنا بقول للولاد عندي, please don't be creative. يعني ما فيش داعي للcreativity. مش على طول الcreativity موجودة. 5, 7, 6, 2, 4. And then بقى they do the عمود. نقعد نحل ساعتين. لا. Now, type C of questions, as you can see, the numbers are primely factorized, and these numbers are relatively big numbers, and you will be required to find the HCF and the LCM for these sort of numbers, big numbers. How do I find HCF and LCM for big numbers if they are primely factorized? تمام? To find HCF of two numbers that are given as follows. Now, for HCF, we select the common factor, but with the smaller power. With the smaller power. يعني إيه؟ يعني مثلا, let's look over here. What are the common factors? يعني what is a number that is common up and down? أنا عندي 3 power 5 and 3 power 1. This is common up and down. What else is common up and down? Let me just use another color. What else is common up and down? I have the 7. Okay, now we are focused on how to find the HCF. Okay, so if I am required to find the HCF for two numbers that are primely factorized, I check the common factors first. طيب وبالنسبة لل5 وال2 فاكس ولا هبص عليهم أصلا للأسف. Okay, I only look at the common numbers and the common factors as you can see. طيب which do I select? Do I select the factor with the smaller power ولا with the bigger power? For HCF we select the smaller power. ال HCF بيعمل دايت بياخد الباور الصغير. Okay, so from the highlighted yellow I select the smaller power. From the highlighted green I select the smaller power. And then I place it on the calculator. 3 times 7 power 3 and I will get an answer of 1029 على طول كده. اوكي يبقى زي ما اتفقنا ال HCF عامل دايت. He selects the smaller power. طيب let's look بقى at the LCM. Now as for the طبعا احنا يا جماعة دايما I'm sorry you write the final answer in the space provided over here. This is where you write your final answer. So as we said, we select the common factor with the smaller power. Let me just double check the answer بدل ما أكون حاسبة حاجة غلط. Yes. Now as for the LCM بقى ال LCM رمرم أكيل يعني مش عامل دايت ولا حاجة. ال LCM إيه؟ Now first let's highlight the common and keep them highlighted. Okay? ما هو ال LCM برضو بياخد شوية من ال HCF. Now the LCM as for the common factors اللي هما the highlighted ones he selects the bigger power. So from the 3 power 1 and 3 power 5 he selects the bigger power. From 7 power 3 and 7 power 4 he selects the bigger power. يبقى ال LCM بقى زي ما اتفقنا أكيل رمرام بيشوف الcommon الأول and as for the common he selects the bigger power and he eats all the remaining factors as well. أي حاجة باقية عنده في السكة بياخدها. يعني ال5 المسكينة اللي فوق دي يقوم واخدها معاه في السكة. وال2 باور 3 اللي تحت دي برضو يقوم واخدها معاه في السكة. ما شاء الله عليه يعني إيه نفسه حلوة. So to find the LCM first you check the common. For the common you select the bigger power and then you include in your answer all the remaining factors. طيب where is يا Miss Dina final answer? The final answer طبعا you place this on the calculator. Okay زي ما هي كده 3 power 5 times 7 power 4 times 5 times 2 power 3 and then you get a big answer which is 2 3 3 3 7 7 20. خليني بس أرجع والنبي أحسبها تاني. يبقى قلنا for the common we choose the bigger power فأخدنا 3 power 5 7 power 4 and then the remaining on the calculator again 3 power 5 times 7 power 4 times 5 times 2 power 3 2 3 3 3 7 7 20. 2 3 3 7 7 and 20. And this is one of the very very important ideas that you always get in exams اللي هو if the numbers are primely factorized what do we do. احيانا بقى طبعا في ideas كتيره. خدوا بالكم يا جماعه احنا الفيديوز دي بتشرح المين ideas وطبعا بيبقى في حاجات كتيره في يعني انا بحاول ان انا الم الدنيا في المسائل اللي من النوع ده. بس انتوا برضو لازم تحلوا كتير في past papers والclassified والكلام ده كله بتاع. So here I'm going to introduce another idea from يعني related to this part over here. So if we just go back to page number 18 and I'm just going to لأنه question B هنا بالنسبة لي there is a new idea related to this part over here. طبعا as you can see هنا this is case C اللي هي the numbers are primely factorized as you can see. طبعا أحيانا بيقول لي find HCF أحيانا بيقول لي find LCM أحيانا بيطلب الاثنين على حسب. هنا قال لي find the LCM. Now let's state the conditions again of the LCM. Now as we said For the common, I'm going to highlight the common. For the common, we select the bigger power. Okay, هكتبهم هنا two cases بتوعي. Let's take it clear. I select the bigger power for the common numbers, and then I take all the remaining factors قلنا as well. معلش هو ايه الظاهر بيقول لي كفايه ما تطوليش اكتر من كده، مع ان والله مش حاسه الفيديو طويل قوي يعني. تمام. يبقى for the common we select the bigger power and then I include all the remaining factors. So from the highlighted yellow I select the bigger power, from the highlighted green I select the bigger power, and the only remaining factor over here is the 11, so I include it as well. طبعا what I do next is that I place this on the calculator. تمام. واحسب حسبتي. I will get an answer of 111,375. Let me do the math again. 3 power 4 times 5 power 3 times 11, 111,375. Now let's look at this question and see what is new. هنا بقى قال لي ايه؟ Now if you look at the numbers given as m and n. 1m, 1n. هنا بقى in this question, the question says, find the highest common factor of 5m and 3n. Okay? Now, you don't need to panic. وأنا دايما لما بشرح لكم حتى بقعد أقول لكم إيه اللي أقدر أعمله؟ إيه اللي أقدر أعمله؟ Now, I have this number over here. Now, this is the original number that I have in the question, which is 1m. هو قال لي لا أنا مش عايز 1m. أنا عايز 5m. يعني إيه 5m؟ يعني I multiplied here by 5. That means I must multiply by 5 on the other side. من الآخر زودت خمساية. Okay? How do I change this into 5m? Multiply it by 5. So multiply left and right. So this changes into, هكتبها تحتها, 5m equals 3 power 4 times 5 power 3 times 5. طبعا بقى الغلطة الفاحشة بتاعت مس ايه رأيك بقى نعمل تايمز هنا وتايمز هنا؟ طبعا this is very incorrect. مفيش الكلام ده. بنعمل الكلام ده لما يبقى عندي مسألة زي كده في addition أو subtraction في النص. بس أنا when I multiply أنا بس بزودها times 5 كده وخلاص. طيب. Now the question is بقى يبقى زي ما بقول لكم يا جماعة أنا كل اللي أنا عملته think simple. Don't complicate yourself. كل اللي أنا عملته إن أنا زودت خمساية. I multiplied by 5. زودت خمساية كده هنا اهو. بس I added 5 on both sides. معلش بس أحيانا بيهنك كده وأنا بكتب. فأهي هزودها هنا وهزودها هنا. طيب الفكرة بقى these. Can I combine them together? Yes, of course. I can combine them together. So with this will change into 5m equals 3 power 4 times 5 power 1 and 5 power 3. They will combine into 5 power 4. يبقى أنا هنا أهو زودت خمسة and I combine these two together. بس خلص الموضوع على كده. Now بالنسبة بقى للN خليني بس I zoom out. Now the N is the original N that I have in the question 3 power 3 times 5 squared times 11. Now the question here included a 3. So I multiply by 3. Or in other words, زودت تلاتاية. تمام? So I multiply by 3 here. طبعا I have to multiply by 3 here. Now by looking at these again, since I am multiplying same base, I have the right to simplify and add the powers. So the simplest form of 3n will be, the simplest form of 3n will be 3 power 1 and 3 power 4 is 3 power 4. 5 squared طبعا will remain as it is. And then 11 will remain as it is. يبقى أنا هنا أهو زودت تلاتاية وجمعت دول مع بعض فبقت 3 power 4. زودت خمساية وزودت تلاتاية. Now the question says find the highest common factor. Now as we said, the highest common factor is a person who is always on a diet. He selects the common with the smaller power. طب ايه يا مس هنا مفيش smaller يبقى ناخده زي ما هو. We select the common with the smaller power, which is 5 squared. And then I place this on the calculator. times 5 squared, and then I get an answer of 2025. يبقى if you are going to use HCF and LCM and the powers are the same, don't panic. You just take the power as it is for HCF and LCM. لو واحد منهم يعني if one of them is smaller, then I select the smaller for the HCF. يبقى as we did over here in this question, كل اللي أنا عملته إن أنا هنا زودت خمسية فبقت 5 power 4 وهنا زودت تلاتية فبقت 3 power 4. And then the question says find HCF. For the common, I select the smaller power. For the common, I select the smaller power. If the powers are the same, then you select it as it is. Okay? And this is the third part of the questions اللي هو if the questions are primarily factorized. Now, part 4 are the word problems related to HCF and LCM. Now, we are going to discuss 2 questions, and that will be it for this video. Now, we have the word problems related to HCF and LCM. First, I'm going to display this question over here, which is in specimen 1H. Specimen 1H. Question number 3. طبعا the question here says find the highest common factor of 140 and 245. طبعا we do it by the same method خلاص اللي هي ده عمود. You don't have to start by طبعا زي ما اتفقنا you start by the common factor which works with them, by the prime number which works with them both, which is مثلا أنا the first number that crossed my mind is the 5, as they are both easily divided by 5. تمام كده؟ بعدين 245 divided 5 is 49. Both are divisible by 7. 28 divided 7 is 4. And then 49 divided by 7, which is 7. So the highest common factor over here is 35. طبعا this is an easy question as you need to write the working out over here, which is 5 times 7. Okay, طبعا as you can see this is an easy question. Now here بقى this is a nice question, and this is a word problem related to LCM. هنا بقى the question says what? A machine has a buzzer that sounds every 50 minutes. يعني أنا عندي مكنة كل 50 دقيقة بتطلع صوت. The machine also has a bell that sounds every 80 minutes. تمام؟ يبقى الماشين بتاعتي دي فيها buzzer وبell. البuzzer بيعمل صوت every 50 minutes والبell بتعمل صوت every 80 minutes. The buzzer and the bell sound together at 10 a.m. Find the time in which they will next sound together. In which they will next sound together. Let me give you مثلا a different scale. لو أنا جيت مثلا قلت لكم أنا عندي a lamp في البيت بتنور كل 20 minutes. وعندي I'm just giving you a smaller scale question. وعندي lamp وعندي إيه lamp bell. تمام. And the bell gives a sound every 30 minutes. يبقى عندي لمبة وبل. اللمبة بتنور كل 20 دقيقة والبل بيعمل صوت كل 30 دقيقة. مثلا they both started together at 1 p.m. يعني الساعة 1 لقيت اللمبة نورت والجرس عمل صوت. When will they sound together again؟ تمام؟ ركزوا بقى معايا. اللمبة هتنور كل 20 دقيقة، يعني هتنور امتى بعد كده؟ 1:20 وبعدين another 20 minutes ف 1:40 وبعد كده another 20 minutes فهتبقى 2 p.m. تعالوا بقى نشوف البل. البل هيطلع صوت امتى؟ ما بعد نص ساعة، وهو بدأ الساعة 1 يعني 1:30 وبعد نص ساعة تانية يعني الساعة كام؟ 2. يبقى هما الاتنين they will ring together after an hour. after an hour. لو أنا فكرت إن أنا أجيب ال LCM of 20 and 30. Let's see كده 20 and طبعا دي 20 minutes and 30 minutes. فهنعملها طبعا بالطريقة التقليدية 20 and 30 both divisible by 2. 10 and 15 both divisible by 5. 10 divided 5 كام هنا 2 وهنا عندي 3 وبعد كده هنا 2 1 و 3 وعندي هنا 3 1 and 1. If I multiply these together, what do you think the answer will be? برافو, the answer will be 60 minutes. يعني هما الاثنين هيتقابلوا تاني بعد ساعة. 60 minutes يعني ساعة. يبقى this question over here is an LCM question. These questions are tricky. فمش كل الناس بتقدر تلقط ان هما it's an LCM question. That's why I decided to give you a smaller example related to this part. Okay? يبقى this is a pure LCM question. وانتوا يا جماعة برضو خليكم ناصحين. هو الدرس اسمه HCF و LCM. لو انتوا حسيتوا في الامتحان ان انتوا تهتوا, think always about what is مين المصاحب على طول لكلمة HCF LCM. So this is an LCM question. So the first thing I will do is that I will find the LCM of these two numbers. طبعا divide by 2, 25 and 40. Divide by 5, 5 and 8. Now this is the HCF. If you remember, اللي احنا قلنا we start by the HCF and then I continue LCM. وزي ما بقول لكم يا جماعة, you can يعني هنا كده, if I stop at this stage, if I want the HCF, then the HCF will be 10. Now to continue, it's not a must that you use prime numbers. بس I prefer prime numbers. فال5 change it to 1. أنا يعني مثلا ممكن أعمل divide by 8 على طول. فاهمين قصدي إزاي؟ أنا بس برتاح نفسيا كده لما بعملها prime numbers. ف2, 1 and 4, 2, 1 and 2, 2, 1 and 1. So let's calculate the LCM first. طبعا all of these numbers multiplied together. فهتبقى 2 times 5 times 5 times 2 times 2 times 2. Again, this part, if you wish to use normal numbers, you can do that. So let's do the math. 2 times 5 times 5 times 8 على طول. So the LCM is 400. Meaning what? Meaning they will meet again after 400 minutes. هو بقى the question here says إن هما they will start together at 10 a.m. When will they meet again? They will meet again بعد 400 دقيقة. طيب 400 دقيقة دي how many hours? To change minutes to hours, of course, you can divide by 60. From minutes to hours, طبعا you divide by 60. And then you will get this answer over here on the calculator, which is 20 over 3. Please, بلاش decimals. Don't immediately change to decimals. Now, what you can do بقى, a very smart thing, you can press on this button over here. أهو. And this button is the time button. And then this will change miraculously into 6 hours and 40 minutes. Meaning that they will meet together بعد 6 ساعات. هم بدأوا الساعة 10 الصبح. بعد 6 ساعات يعني الساعة كام؟ ممكن نعملها بإيدينا حتى. تمام؟ 6 10 11 12 1 p.m. 2 p.m. 3 p.m. 4 p.m. So they will meet at 4 p.m. and 40 minutes. طبعا you can write it in this form or you can write it in the 24-hour form اللي هي 1640. Okay, اللي هي 1640. So this part over here, please, since we are discussing time, then you can either use the time button immediately, or if you wish to do it mentally, change to mixed number. حتى هعملها لكم هنا تحت. Let me just zoom out. Change to mixed number. So if I actually decide to change this into mixed number, Shift SD on your calculator, it will be 6 and 2 over 3. This 6 means the hours. And this fraction is a fraction from the hour. So if you wish to change this fraction separately into minutes, you multiply by 60. And then you will get 6 hours and 40 minutes. تمام؟ طبعا أسهل بكتير إن أنا أعملها قولوا معايا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بالtime button. Okay, so why did I discuss this word problem with you? As you can see, it's a very, very nice idea related to LCM. Now, the last question that we are going to do together related to word problems, I'm going to go back to classified part 2, and I'm going to go to this question over here, and this will be the last question of our video. Now, for HCF and LCM, actually, يا حبايبي, there are 2 videos. This is an updated one, I would vote for this video, okay? هنا بقى مديني السؤال ده, and this is the last question, على أساس أكون حاولت على قد ما قدرت إن أنا اديتكم all the ideas. هنا بقى بيقول لي إيه in this question? The highest common factor of 140 and x is 20, meaning that I am given 2 numbers. One of them is 140, and the other one is an unknown. أنا معرفوش. هو بيقول لي بقى ال HCF بتوعهم هما الاتنين is 20. وقال لي إيه بقى برضو؟ قال لي إنه the LCM of these 2 numbers is إيه ده؟ اللي حصل؟ is 420. is 420. تمام؟ find the second number. هنا بقى هنقول a very interesting rule, which is the HCF multiplied by the LCM is the product of the first number and the second number. HCF times LCM is the product of both numbers. I have the HCF given, and I have the LCM given. I have one of the numbers given, which is 140. Sorry. The HCF, I'm sorry, guys. The HCF of 140 and x. So the first number is 140. The second number, which is the unknown, x. The highest common factor is 20. And the lowest common multiple is 420. يا سلام على السحر. I can easily now find the value of x, which is the second number, 20 multiplied by 420 over 140. On the calculator, تمام, 20 multiplied by 420 over 140. And then I will get the other number, which is 60. Which is 60. تمام كده؟ فدي لذيذة جدا جدا جدا, وبستعملها لما يكون مديني the HCF and the LCM, one of the numbers and the other number is missing. If you are not sure about it, let's do it together and check. And both numbers now are 60 and 140. 60 and 140. Let's find the HCF. تمام. I will divide both by 2. So ending up with 30 and 70, both by 2, ending up with 15 and 35, both by 5, ending up with 3 and 7. تمام كده? Now multiply these, لأنه as we said, we stop when both are not divisible by anything. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2 is 4 times 5 is 20. And this is the HCF. Now let's continue. Divide by 3, 1 and 7. Divide by 7, 1 and 1. Multiply 20 by 3 by 7, and you get the 420. So we are fabulous, and this is super correct. تمام. I know I said that this is the last question, بس ضميري يحتم عليا إن أنا أقول الحتة دي. معلش. Okay. Now, let me just give you this last idea. I promise. This is the last thing. If I am given a number such that A equals مثلا 2 power 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 7 squared مثلا. Okay. And I am given this number B 2 times 3 power 2 multiplied مثلا by 5 power 3 by 11. Now, let's assume the question says, find LCM. This just came through my mind, wallahi, of 8A and مثلا 2B. Okay? 8A means I will multiply this by 8. طبعا 2B سهلة, لأن أنا كل اللي هعمله إيه في 2B, هزود هنا 2 وهزود هنا 2. I will combine these two together. So I will end up with 2 squared. تاني. لا. Okay. Now here it says, 2B. Now as we said, for 2B means هزود 2 هي. عادي جدا, هزود 2 هي. And then these I will combine together and I will end up with 2B equals, طبعا multiplying same base, I add the powers, 2 power 2 times 3 squared times 5 power 3 times 11. بالنسبة بقى الناس بقى اللي دماغها نظيفة دي 8a، ايه اللي حصل بقى يا مس؟ يعني دي 8 وانت عمالة تقول لنا من الصبح prime factorization prime factorization prime factorization. ال 8 دي ما هياش prime. طيب what do you think we are going to do with this 8؟ طبعا هنزود 8، بس أنا هنا ما عنديش 8. Any idea what do you think we're going to do over here? This 8 بقى I will primely factorize it. فهتبقى 8 divide by 2 divide by 2 divide by 2. So if you are given a number that is not prime, factorize it. So basically in this question over here بعد ما زودت الإتاية ال8 يعني هخليها 2. لا أنا ليه عملت كده؟ بعد ما زودت الإتاية ال8 يعني I will remove this 8 and put its prime factorization which is 2 power 3, and then using my highlighter what will I do بقى? I will combine these two together to write the final form of 8a. تمام? So 8a will be 2 power 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 7 squared. And then طبعا the question بقى will say find HCF or LCM على حسب what does the question require. So please pay attention to this part over here. Now I hope that this video was useful to you, and بحب قوي الستامبس دي بصراحة, they're very cute. تمام. I hope that this video was useful to you. If you wish to solve more questions related to HCF and LCM, you can refer to classifieds parts 2 and 4. And of course, you can always solve in the past papers. And يا جماعة, if you have any questions, please refer to me or to any of my team. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.